Hi, everybody. Thanks for taking some time to watch this recording. Today's topic is baseball camps and showcases. We are definitely coming up on a time period with the summer and the fall and the off season for colleges where there are going to be a lot of camps, a lot of camp invitations, a lot of showcases floating out there, and that comes with a lot of questions. As parents, as student athletes, as families, you want to make sure that you're making the right decisions and spending your time and your energy and your money in the right place. So hopefully this will help you with kind of sorting through some of the initial information, how to look into some of these camps and events and showcases and picking the right ones for you based on the schools that you're trying to engage and your time frames with where you are in the recruiting process. So let's talk about college camps first, because with your messaging center on NCSA, this is what you're going to get a lot of. And as we build up to the summer, they're going to become more and more frequent. Most college baseball programs, regardless of division level, will have a prospect camp at some point either this summer or this fall. They're going to post these camps and events on their program's webpage, and they're going to use email to market these camps, whether it's through NCSA or through your personal email or through another outlet. These camps are used to identify potential players for sure, no doubt, but they are also used to help raise money for the program and the school and the facilities that they have. So you want to make sure that you're picking the right ones to go to, because you are going to get a variety of these, and some of them are going to seem more personal than others, and some are going to seem a little bit less personal, but really looking through the whole situation and having a process in place is very, very important in picking the right ones to go to. So here are some things that you want to know based on your age and your placement in the recruiting process at this point. What should you actually be looking for in terms of a college camp? So if you are a 2020 grad and you're a rising senior, you're looking for exposure to college coaches. We're past the point where you're looking to get, hands-on instruction and tips and pointers and stuff like that. And really, really important, guys, is that you're getting communication with these coaches before you go. So it can't just turn into, I get a camp invitation from a coach, that must mean that they're interested. I'll pick up what I'm doing and go to this event. Having back and forth dialogue, asking questions, getting on the phone and talking, understanding their recruiting timetables and needs are important. This is your last summer in the recruiting process as a 2020 grad, so you have to make sure that regardless of division level, you have good, solid, personal back and forth communication before you go to an event. 2021 grads, so you are coming out of sophomore year, going into your junior year. You're still in the process of looking for the experience of getting into an evaluation setting if you haven't been to any camps or events before, still getting into these kind of, for the first time and getting a feel for the layout and how your body is going to react and how your mind's going to react in these evaluation settings is important. So it is, there is some value in getting into these settings early, but we're definitely also at a point where you are looking to get some initial exposure too. Division I and Division II schools are going to be looking at 2021 grads this summer. Still a little bit early for you with Division III and NAIA and junior college programs, as they're going to be looking at kids that are a year older than you. But exposure with schools is starting to become a more important thing. Keeping in mind that if you are on a college's campus this summer as a 2021 grad, with Division II schools, June 15th is the first time that they can really have on-campus contact with you and discuss recruiting. Same thing with phone calls and text messages and things like that. And then that date for Division I schools is September 1st. So you may be on a college's campus and for a camp this summer, but the on-campus contact is going to be limited. Definitely would encourage you guys to check out some of the rules and regulations on some of the other classes and resources we have on this, but understand that communication may be limited at camps this summer depending on where you're going. Lastly, 2022 grads and younger, so guys that are freshmen and potentially even younger than that. You are looking for getting that experience. The exposure to college coaches and things like that is most likely in the future for you. So this is not something where you need to be investing lots and lots of money, lots and lots of time, lots and lots of travel to go to these events. So usually a bit of advice would be stay local, stay close to home, stay relatively inexpensive for now, and really work on getting experience in that setting and getting used to the surroundings of it. So every camp and every school is going to be having a camp of some kind. So start with the local one. Start with the experience of something that is somebody that's more likely to recruit you from your area down the future. Okay, so let's go over the process. So Let's say you got a camp invitation from a school. Could be on NCSA, could be in your personal email, could have come from anywhere. So there is a process that you want to have in place. Number one would be to actually evaluate the situation in the email itself. So let's say you just got on with NCSA and you don't have a picture up, you don't have your transcripts up, you don't have any video footage up. Realistically ask yourself, if I'm a college coach, is there anything on my profile for them to see that would make it a personal thing to me? So is your profile up to date? Do you have those things where they would even have the opportunity to evaluate you? If you don't have video footage up, there is no way that you can possibly expect that this is a personal email based on something that they've seen on your profile. So keep that in mind. Number two, has there been any other profile activity? Has the coach looked at your profile a couple of different times? Are they following you on NCSA? And these are, I guess, decent signs of potential interest in the fact that they've at least looked at your profile, but it doesn't mean that there's interest. You still have to rely on the communication that you're getting from the coach. So has the coach emailed you before? Have you had contact before, on NCSA, off of NCSA, in person, at a camp? So that ongoing communication and their willingness to engage you is important. If you're getting a camp invitation from somebody that has not viewed your profile and your profile is really not up to date at this point, again, very likely something being sent out to a lot of kids, which is okay, but you need to understand the level of interest that that comes with. Lastly, is the email itself personal to you in any way? Is there information specific to you? Have they shared, hey, I saw your video, I know your coach, I know your summer coach, I could talk to one of your coach references, and that this is an email that could only be sent to you, that if somebody else's name was put on there, it would not be able to go out to them because it would be so personalized to you. And that's the question you need to ask yourself. Is this email being sent just to me, or is this being sent out to a large group of people? It's okay if you're one of many that are receiving this email, but the fact is you can't just drop what you're doing and go to a camp because you got an invitation. Even if it's from your dream school or one of your top schools, you need to look at the personalization of the email itself. Next step, step number 2. Research the school. This is a step that a lot of people skip, and they'll just jump on a plane or jump in the car and travel and spend the money to go. You need to research the school and ask yourself, is this in line with what I'm really looking for? Know a little bit about the school itself. What's the division level that this program is at? How far away is it from home? Do they offer the majors that I'm looking at? Am I comfortable with the setting that this is in? And what kind of grades and test scores do I need to get in? If you use the match analysis page on NCSA, it will give you a feel for where you need to be. And if you've been evaluated and you have your grades and your test scores up there, where you are too. So really researching the school itself and then researching the program too. Check the roster, guys. If this is a school that's out of state, where do they recruit from? If you are from Arizona and this is a school in North Carolina and their entire roster is from the East Coast or from North Carolina and nearby, is that really a potential fit for you? Probably not. Is there anyone from your home state on the roster? Understanding kind of the ins and outs of the program, how many guys they carry, what size the guys are at the position that you play is going to help you understand if this is a potential fit for you. So you really have to research the school and the program before you can consider this as a possibility, even if the email does seem a little bit more personal. And I guess the big question at the end of the day, guys, is would you have interest in this school if you hadn't received an email from the coach? If this is the first time that you've even been introduced to this school, would you have interest in this school itself? Even if there was no interest from the baseball program, is this a school that you would choose to go tour and take a look at? So those are the things you have to start to ask yourself. Is the school a fit? Is the program a fit for me? Would I have interest in the school itself? And you can use the match analysis page. This is the one that I was talking about before. So this will tell you athletically, once you've been evaluated and you have video footage up, does that overlap with what they're looking for? Same thing with grades, test scores, all those things. So utilize this page. Understand that if you are a younger kid, there is still some time for you to develop and progress. And if you don't have test scores yet, obviously you're not going to see where that matches up. But make sure that you are checking this page to see if it is a fit. Looking through some of the majors and seeing a lot of green check marks is a good thing there. Step number 3. Respond to the email. You cannot get in the habit of just going to every camp that you get invited to. You have to really seek engagement back from these coaches. So the big things would be ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask. Are they looking for players in your graduating class at this point? Are they looking for something specific in players at your position? So do they look for a certain velocity or 60 time or a time of any kind as they start to evaluate kids at your position? Seek engagement back. Really read into the fact if they did or did not respond and how they responded back to you. Are they willing to answer your questions? If you ask questions about their recruiting needs and are they recruiting in your graduating class, did they respond back? Now, these questions are going to be a little bit limited in terms of their responses if you are younger. So if you are reaching out as a 2021 grad or younger before those dates that I mentioned, they are restricted on what their responses are going to be. But if you are a 2020 grad or if you are a 2021 grad reaching out beyond those points, their responses or lack of responses are something that you should be reading into. So are they willing to answer your questions? Are they willing to engage you back is a big factor in kind of deciding if this is a personal email or not. And then lastly, ask about the camp itself. What kind of reps are you going to get? Some of these camps will be more pro-style workout where you're going to get a few throws down to second base, you're going to run a 60, you're going to get some BP swings, and then you're on your way. Some are going to be a little bit more inclusive of reps. You're going to get more reps, more instruction, which is always good. The cost is obviously a factor, the number of days, the number of players that are attending. All those things are kind of getting a feel for what the setting is going to be before you go. So make sure you're asking questions about the camp itself as well. Step number 4. Okay, maybe you have gone through this process with a few different schools and you have responded and you have gotten responses back from a few schools. Now when you get to closer to these points where these camps are coming up, evaluate your options. Make a list of the options that you're considering as far as these camps and try to decide on the best ones. Are your local target schools going to be attending this camp? Is there a better option that's closer to home? So are you getting the feedback and the responses that you're looking for? Where have you gotten the best communication? That's going to be a key, guys, especially if you're going into senior year. Who has been willing to respond to you? Who's been willing to answer your questions? Who's been willing to talk with you on the phone and share their needs? And does that line up with where you are? Has this coach contacted your coach? Has this coach had a lot of activity? Have they viewed your profile multiple times and followed you and engaged with you and been willing to take those next steps? And then obviously with your summer and your fall, you have to take into account the affordability of these events and the schedule. Does it fit with what you're looking for with your summer team? Are you going to be able to go to something like this? So you've gone through the process of asking questions, looking at the school, looking at the email itself, and getting that engagement back. Now you've really run the gauntlet on getting the feedback that you're looking for from these schools, and you can make a better decision. Next, showcases. So this is going to be different from camps in that these are likely going to be businesses and companies that host these showcases. These are typically not affiliated with specific schools. While coaches may be in attendance, these are not school-sponsored. These are businesses, third parties that host these with the goal of making money. So these can be very different in size, in cost, in the demographic that they're looking for, and a lot of times the actual coaches that are going to be in attendance. So one big thing that, from an evaluation standpoint, from NCSA standpoint, from a coach standpoint, being able to look at your profile, verified numbers and video. Those are two things that an event ideally are going to offer you, especially with the verified numbers. Even if they don't offer you video, being able to give you some feedback on where you were with your velocities and your times and your measurements is key. If they give you video, and some events will, see that as a plus for sure. Some of those will be upgrades, some of those will be included. But these showcases can come with a very high expense, very high travel, and sometimes they're very, very hit or miss. So really looking into these and researching these and asking questions is very, very important. So showcase events. What should you be looking for based on your age? So if you are a 2020 grad or a 2021 grad, you need to be getting those verified numbers. That is important. Getting that progression and showing the progression that you've made since the last time or getting these for the first time is very, very important. Number 2, you want coaches to be in attendance at these things. You don't want to go to events where you're only getting verified numbers unless that is really something that you are seeking at this point. Coaches expected to be in attendance. They should have a list of schools that they've spoken with or that have attended in the past. So you have to ask these questions. If the organizers of the event cannot provide you with a list of schools that are expected to be there or that are confirmed to be there, they probably don't know. And if they don't know, that is not a good way to invest your time and your energy and your money. So make sure that you are asking those questions about which coaches and which schools are expected to be there. As a 2022 grad or younger, you really are looking for those verified numbers for that initial feedback. So feedback on your performance, an evaluation is good, but getting those verified numbers so that you can add those to your profile and kind of see where you stack up is very good. Stay inexpensive with these. There are showcases that cost hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars. You do not need to do that at this point. So, getting in front of coaches and things like that is great, but if you don't have the tools and the numbers that they're looking for at this point, you're really going and just spending money to get in front of those coaches and kind of kick the can down the road a little bit. So if you are looking to get those verified numbers, you can get those without having to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars doing so. So don't feel like you need to do that as a younger player at this point. Choosing the right showcases. So the ones that are more nationally known are kind of the big three, I would say, are Baseball Factory, Prep Baseball Report, PBR, and Perfect Game, PG. So all three of these will verify your numbers, your times, and your velocities. Baseball Factory a lot of times will include video with that. PBR will include video, but I believe that's at an upgraded price with most of their events. Same thing with Perfect Game. So those are the big ones, the national ones that regardless of where you live, you're probably going to be able to find one of these coming to a city or a nearby area close to you. Those are the three to look into if you're looking to, have that certainty of something that's coming close by. There are also target demographic type of events. So for higher academic kids, and when we're talking higher academic, that means the Ivy League type schools and that caliber. There are some events with show ball and head first honor roll that are good fits for that. That's more of a senior and junior type of thing. Going to these as a freshman or a sophomore can be nice to get just that initial feel for it, but these are expensive, and those coaches typically are looking for ACT and SAT scores. So if you aren't at the point where you're really qualifying academically for those schools, you're kind of just, going there and kicking the can down the road. So there are other companies that are starting to get into this field and into this realm. So you'll see some of the academic showcases by other companies, but Head First Honor Roll and Show Ball are the most prominent ones. So if you have those aspirations, and more importantly, if you have the grades and the test scores that you think you can get into these schools, that's a good one to look into. And then, guys, there are plenty of other local and regional companies that do these. They can be very hit or miss, but again, the questions that you ask are going to be key. Who's going to be there, what you're looking for, and what you're looking to get out of these events comes down to the questions that you ask. So those questions, most of these showcases are businesses, and they are trying to make money. So keep that in mind. That's okay. It is a business, and you are getting something from them, but know what you are getting before you go. The number of reps that you're going to get. Remember, the more kids that are at these events, the fewer reps that you're going to get. The setting. So is it more of a workout type setting? Is there a game or a scrimmage where you're going to get a chance to get some at-bats and get some in-play and things like that? How many days? What's the cost? And which coaches are expected to be in attendance? If those are not given to you, or they are being wishy-washy on what they're promising you, be careful, because you want to make sure that you are getting into a setting where you know exactly what you're getting into before you go. When in doubt, guys, stay inexpensive, stay close to home. Coaches are most likely to recruit you are ones that are in your area, in your home state, in your surrounding states. Don't feel like you have to travel across the country to get recruited. There's a lot of international ones that are becoming more readily available now, where you travel to the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico. Coaches aren't going to those places to recruit college baseball players. They stay close to home because that's where they typically recruit from. You don't have to spend more to get more. Typically, the more expensive the showcase, the more skeptical you should be. And really work to attend events that verify your numbers and your velocities. Getting that feedback and that money, if you're going to be spending that kind of money to go to these events, getting something back from that at a minimum is going to be important too, so that you can update your profile and have that information for college coaches. So final words, guys. In terms of picking the right camps, check them out. Match analysis. Is the school a good fit for me? Am I a good fit for this program? Am I getting engagement back from the coach? Are they willing to answer my questions and get some dialogue started, things like that? Do not rely on college coaches reaching out to you about their camps. Build your own list of target schools. Check out their website. Ask questions of their coaches and see what their camps are going to be. If you have a list of 15 to 20 schools, there should be no shortage of camps within those schools. Don't feel like you have to wait for a coach to reach out to you to start looking into camps. As far as showcases go, it's all about value. Are you comfortable with the setting that you're going into, the cost, the number of reps? Have you asked the right questions? Are you getting verified numbers and velocities? Have the organizers been engaging, and have they been answering your questions in a way that you feel comfortable? And do you have a list of coaches expected to attend? Because this is going to give you the ability to contact these coaches before, possibly contact them during and go up and shake hands and know who you're talking to, and then send a thank you email after. So you may not see every single coach at a showcase. They may be up in the press box or down the line or trying to stay a little bit more secluded, but if you know who's expected to be there, that gives you the ability to reach out before and after at a minimum. And then lastly, guys, ask for help if you need it. Ask your recruiting coach. If you have a recruiting coach as a part of your NCSA membership, ask questions. Set up coaching session times. Give us a call at the 877 number if you need help. So if you are looking at a specific camp and you want some feedback or you want to ask if you feel like it's a good fit, let us know what we can do to help on that. We are here to help you with that. So hopefully this helps you kind of navigate through the process of picking the right camps and showcases. Feel free to follow up if you have any questions whatsoever. Have a good one.